It's finals time. We are here at the Apex Game. Shut up, Ross. We're here at the Apex Gaming 5K Modern Open here. What? What? You've never heard me go final time.
No, and I'm
It's final
disturbed.
time. I'm sorry. Okay, let's start over. Hello and welcome to live coverage of the Apex Gaming $5,000 Modern Open here at Apex Con. I'm Todd Tandy Anderson, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
We got 2 players left in the event. Not that many players left in the building. And we got 1 more match left to decide it all. Who gets this Besage Who Endures play match? Who becomes the AIQ champion? Both players invited to the Invitational. Both players invited to the Regional Championship in October. 1 player gets this mat, and 1 player can call themselves the champion. The other can't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is really what we play for when it comes to competitive Magic. You want to leave the tournament knowing that you were better than everyone else that showed up that day.
Yeah, I would like to say one thing. When I was 30-something, I guess, I played regionals, and I split the finals of the regionals and left and said that they could have the trophy. I regret it. Don't split. Don't concede. Fight it out. That's all.
Yeah, that's what the trophy is. You're going to be left with that the rest of your life.
Yeah. Unless you throw it in the trash when you move on accident or on purpose.
So we got Jesse Cagle and Ben Smith. The trophy is metaphorical, Todd. It's you know in your heart
the winner
the
gets
champion.
This thing. This is the trophy now. We got 2 left. Tell us the people and tell us the matchup.
We got Jesse Cagle, who we've been following through the elimination rounds here on Bant, Nadu. And if you're not a fan of the bird, you're going to be rooting for old Ben Smith, who is yet to take a loss in the tournament. 5 of the Swiss dispatched Jimmy Guo in the quarterfinals on Merfolk. A matchup we liked for the Boros deck, but then had to get through Nadu and JT in the semifinals. Was able to do that as well. Going to need to beat Nadu twice in a row if he wants to call himself an Apex Invitational Qualifier champion. And I think his list is equipped to do just that. I mentioned before the break, he has a lot of cheap spot removal. 4 copies of Galvanic Discharge, 3 copies of Lightning Bolt, 3 copies of Static Prison, 4 copies of Flage. So he's going to be able to maintain, keep Jesse's board in check, and then apply a lot of pressure with Flage, Guide of Souls, Amped Raptor, Ajani, and Ragavan. And then has 4 copies. 4 copies. The maximum they let you play of Harsh Mentor in the sideboard.
Yeah.
That can come in clutch in games 2 and 3. So, yeah, this is going to be a close one. Probably the hardest test yet for Jesse Cagle. But good news for him. He gets to be on the play in game 1.
Yeah, Cagle did go 6-1 in the Swiss, whereas his opponent Ben went 5-0-2, and so Cagle will be on the play. This is going to be a tight one. I think being on the play is a huge deal. We'll see if he's able to sweat through all the spot removal, and it's Nadu. It can win. It just can.
It's Nadu and it's Flage, the 2 most high-profile cards from MH3 thus far.
Sure enough.
They're duking it out in the finals.
All right, let's head on down to the feature match area for the finals. See who takes it down. Cagle on your left with Nadu. Ben on your right with Boros. Oh, we're ready to go.
Let's do it. Fast and loose.
We have a prediction up if you'd like to gamba. See who wins. We say gamba, not gamble, because it's different. It's just play points. It doesn't matter. Here's turn 1 Delighted Halfling. Guide of Souls is the response from Ben. No removal for the Halfling. You got to be happy if you're Cagle. Here's a Saga. Land number 2. Do we just have it? Turn 2 Nadu. Your go. Your go.
Yeah. Can't bolt it. Can't discharge it unless you got some energy first.
Has Court of Calling, so maybe we have it all next turn.
Can't quite cord for 3 to get Outriders. It's 2 turns away from the Saga finding Shuko. So I think Ben Smith likely has 1 turn to putz around and set something up for turn 3 if he wants to sequence it that way.
Been here under some serious pressure. Just to resolve Nadu is very scary. If you go to kill it, your opponent gets a free card off the top. Even if you don't kill it, you're probably dead.
It has an Ether Hub, so that's an energy. And now here's a Johnny, so going to get 2 more energy when those 2 creatures enter with the Guide of Souls. And still can't really attack with the Guide, since if you put counters on it, it's just a 3/4 flyer attacking into Nadu, which is a 3/4 flyer.
Yep. All right. What you got? Any attackers? Might want to attack just to get counters on it, because it's maybe likely to make a bunch more energy next turn also. All right, we're going to go back Kegel's way. Untaps. Draw. Chapter 2.
There's a second Saga drawn for Kegel. Could mean his mana is awkward. It's 2 colorless lands and a Delighted Halfling.
Here's Sylvan Safekeeper. If Kegel wants to go for it, he can start sacking lands to do stuff.
Yeah.
I would not advise it.
But now has protection for the Nadu, can make a construct with the Saga that's on Chapter 2, untap, maybe make another construct if he wants to, or just float some mana and find Shuko with the 3rd chapter, start going to town.
Yeah, cord for 2 to go get an Nantuko means that the Sylvan Safekeeper can actually just mini combo while protecting all your stuff, which is disgusting. I don't think Ben Smith has a route to victory because Safekeeper just closes them all.
Yeah, I said that Ben Smith likely had a turn to putz around, and I take that back.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. It was a fake turn. He's been bamboozled.
I got bamboozled once. They looked at the top of my library, rearranged it. Oof.
Odyssey uncommon.
2-point attack. If you're a Kegel, I'm just I'm taking that one.
Yeah.
No need to let the Ajani flip. Gonna play a Blood Moon. Now that's
That's
a
pretty
cool
good.
card.
That's pretty good.
That's a cool card. Now, if you're Kegel, you can sack the Sagas. Or you can just cord for 2. Okie dokie.
So this will get Springheart Nantuko. Then Kegel can, as Todd said, sacrifice the Urza Sagas to Sylvan Safekeeper. That will create Nadu triggers.
Oh, he also has Haywire Might, but that's not going to let him get the Shuko. And I don't think he needs to be too worried about the Blood Moon after the Sagas all die. So yeah, Springheart Nantuko, a nice pickup here. Kegel knows that the Blood Moon is going to kill the Sagas, so might as well sack both to get 2 Nadu triggers.
Yeah.
Since Safekeeper lets you sack at will.
And he can just find the Haywire Might over the course of the combo next turn and deal with the Blood Moon at his leisure.
Top of the deck is a Shuko. Well.
Or Saga found Shuko anyway.
And while he is targeting the same creature with Sylvan Safekeeper, he can say, with the ability still on the stack, I'll sack again. So even though it gains Shroud, he can do that.
Yeah. So Birds of Paradise can be played off the Forest, Shuko off the Halfling. That will give Kegel 6 creatures on the battlefield. He can draw 12 cards with the Nadu, and any lands he finds continue the chain for 2 more cards by making a token off the Nantuko.
All right. Well, Halfling going to tap for colorless. We're going to start with Shuko. Here we go. And Ben Smith says, thumbs up. Have at it. I've clicked the F6 button.
Yeah. Guide of Souls into Energy plus Ajani into Blood Moon, and isn't going to get a 4th turn.
All right. Finds a land. Believe that's Shifting Woodland. Finds Court of Calling.
I think you mean Mountain. I think it's a mountain.
True, but if I said mountain, you would have been like, okay, that was pretty good. So I missed it. You're right.
Okay. Misty Rainforest / mountain. 2 more tokens, and Ben, I know you can hear me.
Okay, maybe it's good enough, but are we sure it's good enough through Blood Moon?
Gonna find Haywire Might or Cord eventually.
Eventually. But a lot of times when you do this deck, you have to like physically cast creatures from your hand, and usually you have to like find lands to do that. But right now, we don't. But I guess with quarter calling, maybe he has deterministic, so he's maybe explaining that to Ben. And if that's the case, then great. I don't really know, but he said he goldfished 500 games, so I feel like he knows. And he's probably said, "Can you just do it a little longer for my sanity?" He's like, "Okay."
Another trigger. Still have 4 more rolled up. Another one. 3 more rolled up.
That's a spring heart. You probably want to go ahead and play that.
Yep.
So every land is 2 more.
So now we have 5 more Nadu triggers, and every land produces 4 on top.
Okay, there's 4, and we pack it in. Ben says, "You got it. You got it." All right. Game number 1 goes to Kegel, Bant, Nadu, the menace, still menacing,
Yeah.
still ruining my life.
I really like how land-heavy Kegel's build is. 26 lands.
Yep.
Early builds of this deck were playing like 21, 22, 23.
Yeah, with the Saga, you got to kind of treat them as spells, and you don't
Yeah.
really mind drawing a bunch of lands because of Spring Heart.
Exactly. So you just want a high land count in this deck, even though typically you see decks with a lot of mana creatures don't play as high of a land count. But Kegel's only playing 2 Wall of Roots. He's basically cut Wall of Roots for more lands.
Yeah.
Because they're just better in the deck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, these players are going to be taking a look at their sideboard. So while Ben Smith looks at his Boros mid-range sideboard, Ross, why don't you give me a little bit of insight? What do you think he's going to be bringing in?
I mentioned earlier that he has 4 copies of Harsh Mentor. He still does.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good news. The rest of the sideboard, a little less impressive. He has the Gigantha Companion, a Stone of Eric, 2 Celestial Purge, 1 Damping Sphere, 2 Sun Cleanser, 2 Unlicensed Hearse, and 2 Wear Tear. I imagine the Wear Tears will also come in very good against Shuko and Saga. But really, everything else, like, I guess Stone of Eric stops the endurance loops, but it's not going to ever win you the game. So I wouldn't be bringing in narrow effects like that. Just Harsh Mentors and Wear Tears. Probably cut these Blood Moons. Blood Moon seems pretty weak in a matchup where they have a lot of mana creatures and basics and fetch lands. And maybe Ragavan is weak against Springheart and Antuco and Wall of Roots, so you trim on there.
All right. On the other side of things, Kegel with the Bant Nadu deck's up a game. What's he got for the quarter calling deck to come in here?
Kegel has 1 Burnt and Forge Tender, 1 Drannith Magistrate, 1 Endurance, 1 Force of Vigor, 1 Haywire Might, 1 Shadow Spear, 1 Soulless Jailer, 2 Sun Cleanser, 2 Teferi Time Raveler, 2 The One Ring, and 2 Veil of Summer. Have to imagine the Burnt and Forge Tender is coming in. I think this is a decent matchup for the One Ring as well. Just buys you time, draws cards when they're killing all your mana creatures early. So I would not be surprised to see that in the deck post sideboard as well. Not a big fan of much else here. You could try to go for the Shadow Spear, and it works very well with Roaring Earth and Bristly Bill when you're making big creatures. And can also just play nicely with an Urza Saga that makes constructs against the aggro deck.
All right, well, as these players are shuffling up here for game number 2, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors for this weekend's events. SpiceRack.gg. It's a great new piece of tournament software that we've been partnering with here at Apex Gaming to run smooth events. If your local game store is fed up with whatever product they're currently using, make sure to check out SpiceRack.gg and see if you can sign up for tournaments today. Thank you so much to Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Ross and I will be heading there after this match is over. Hopefully after this game is over, so we can go ahead and crown a champion and get the heck on out of here.
Yeah, I've officially changed teams. I am now rooting for Jesse Kegel.
Nah, dude. Never been Nadu.
Yeah.
It always wins, so you know who's going to win.
Nadu has been the hero this entire time. We just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Thanks to Ghost Energy. They keep us hydrated and energized on these long tournament weekends. And lastly, thanks to Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG supplies, from the Boulder deck box to the Katana sleeves. Check your local game store for Ultimate Guard products today. Players here are looking at their opening 7s. We'll see if either player wants to take a mulligan. Looks like Kegel sends it back. Ben pumps the fist and keeps. Gets out to die. 5, 5, 5, 5.
3.
Yeah.
3.
You always do the next one. You can't root too far down. Then the gods of greed will punish you.
And they've been punishing me my entire life, so I'm used to it.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you go to school?
Harvey Mudd.
Yeah? Is that a good school?
It's pretty good.
Where were you born?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, yeah? Kegel on 6. Looks like he's going to put back up Bristle Bill.
Yeah, and you don't need that one early.
You don't really need that one late either, but it is fun.
He's there for moral support.
Sometimes you just got a Summoner's Pack for a Bristly Bill. You know?
No wonder up on the play for Ben Smith is rough. He needs to get out ahead in this matchup. Gytosol also supercharges your static prisons and galvanic discharges.
Well, had a Gytosol's last game, didn't work out, but has Harsh Mentor this game. We got a reader. Kegel's got to know about this one. This is the Pro Tour tech. It was on Magic Online the week leading up to the Pro Tour, just beating the brakes off people playing Nadu, and now we got it here in the finals, and we'll see if Kegel can figure out a way around it. Here's a Spring Art Nantuko. That's a decent way around it.
So Kegel can either take Harsh Mentor with Volatile Stormdrake, and Harsh Mentor only affects your opponents.
Nice.
Or can get Burrington Forge Tender and set up the combo, sack Forge Tender on the Harsh Mentor, and go off through it. If you brought in Teferi, you could also bounce Harsh Mentor to pave the way for a combo turn, but that's it.
Kegel shocks a breeding pool, casts Shuko, and then equips it to the insect, which deals him 2 more with Harsh Mentor. Was going to basically just get smacked for 2 of the Harsh Mentor anyway, so I kind of like putting it on there just to show strength. Like, bring it.
Could incentivize Ben Smith to use a removal spell on the insect token.
A quick fetch, 3 mana. If we get plains, might be a Blood Moon, but it could be a Flage as well. I think maybe the Blood Moons might be out of the deck at this point, just because game 1 it was cast against a basic forest, and game 1 threw the Blood Moon pretty easily.
It killed 2 Urza Sagas, and you still didn't get to untap.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign for its efficacy in the matchup.
Here's Flage. It's going to come down and zap the Spring Heart Nantuko, send it packing.
Has the Arena of Glory already in play, so if Ben Smith can fill his graveyard a little bit, a hasty Flage will make quick work of Jesse Kegel.
All right, see what we can cobble together here. Harsh Mentor, not game over. It is quite good, but you need to apply some pressure as well. The Nadu deck can kind of half combo sometimes. Kegel here going to go ahead and bestow on the Delighted Halfling. Learned his lesson finally. Took eight tries.
Means that Halfling could now check Harsh Mentor in combat too.
It's true. It also means every time we play a land, we can pay 2 and get another Delighted Halfling.
Oh wow, Jesse coming prepared. That's his internal judge.
Yeah. All right, here's a question for you, Ross. Does Harsh Mentor affect fetch lands?
Yes.
That's tough. That's pain. Wow, an attack here would be so aggro. I love it. Jesse says go. Back Ben Smith's way.
See, Windswept Heath is the draw for turns. A Fable already in hand. I think there's an Ether Hub there as well, so maybe a little flooded is Ben Smith. The Fable would help with that problem and help fill the graveyard for this Flage.
Yep.
Artifacts, creatures, and lands on the battlefield, Todd.
Yep. It isn't a mana ability, so it doesn't affect tapping your lands or your Delighted Halfling, but boy, it sure does hurt. Equipping a Shuko or popping a Misty Rainforest. Here's Fable. Is that Mile of the Anima proxied onto a Goblin Shaman?
Oh.
I don't know. You remember that card from Conflux?
Yeah, Naya creature.
Yeah. Pull it up. Let me see if it's the same art. Mile of the Anima? I don't know. Chad knows how to spell it. Oh my god, I'm so smart. So smart and handsome. Just ask my wife. Maybe it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty darn close. Anyway, fetching. We're going to make a copy of Delighted Halfling.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wonder if Ben Smith is going to fetch and kill a creature here or something. Or if we're just passing back. It's like we're just passing back.
And we haven't seen that cheap spot removal from Ben. Kept to this hand largely on the strength of Harsh Mentor. I'm just going to see a few new cards next turn because of the second chapter of Fable. And with the land 5 and the arena could potentially have, one spot removal spell plus a hasty flage, throw 3 bolts around. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Looks like Hegel does have Nadu. I'm curious if he has thought of a way to get through the Mentor somehow. If it weren't for Harsh Mentor, we would be off to the races and the game would be very likely over. Maybe has Court of Calling. Trying to think of some way to stop it,
Yeah,
but
Chord for Forge Tender would do it.
tax for 2. Love it. Alright, explain to me why Forge Tender works. I know why it works, but I want you to tell my friends at home why it works.
Well, Forge Tender prevents all damage that a red source would deal this turn. Harsh Mentor is red.
Yeah, so you can preemptively sacrifice it and choose Harsh Mentor because it's red. And then none of that damage happens. It's an old one. Damage prevention's weird.
You will take 2 damage off of sacrificing the Forge Tender itself, so Kegel has to be at least 3 for that to work. But it will give him the 1-turn window to go off with Nadu.
Alright, looks like we are moving Shuko to an insect and took 2 damage. We found a Misty Rainforest, which is going to give us another trigger. We can either pay 2 or get a 1-1. We pay 2 and we're going to get another Delighted Halfling. So we're going to be mana'd out of our mind. We got more halflings than the Shire.
Halfling flooded.
Rookily dokley. Time for Flage.
This fetch land still only puts 2 extra cards in the graveyard, and then Fable can get you up to 4 extra cards. So Ben Smith needs to find a way to get a 5th. That's why finding a 1-mana removal spell.
No, it's Elegant Parlor.
Yeah, there we go. Parlor will do it too.
Surveil. Can you imagine how annoying Hedge Maze would have been if Uro was still legal? Anyway, top card, 100% to the graveyard. That's a Sacred Foundry. Now, draw us for turn. We can pitch 2. We can Arena of Glory back the Flage. We can
Has a
some
Windswept
damage.
Heath in hand too, so that's an extra card in case Ben's hand is so good he doesn't want to get rid of anything. Has an Aether Hub face down on the table. That one's definitely getting discarded. He's just thinking about a potential second.
I wonder if Kegel has Cord here for Endurance. I don't think it's going to work out well if he does. Because we're in the middle of the Kiki-Jiki resolution.
Yeah, you would have had to respond to the Fable trigger.
Okay. Now, if you're a Ben Smith fan, you got to be shaking in your boots.
Can't tell what that card under the hub is in the graveyard that Ben discarded.
I think it was a Janny. Don't know though.
Oh, what?
A Janny. Actually, it's another Harsh Mentor, I think.
I mean, it can't be another Harsh Mentor. That would be an excellent play here.
I don't know what to tell you. To me, it looked like a Harsh Mentor to me. Anyway, it could be a Raptor. Looks red. Alright, 1 card in hand. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to go face with Flage a few times, I think, and send it over. going to force a chump block. I think targeting the creatures would be a mistake. Kegel wins with a Cord or Burnt and Forged Tinder at any point in the next turn cycle.
Exerting the arena. Here's Flage.
Alright. 3 damage. See where the target is.
Probably hit the enchanted halfling, and then you can attack and hit the Nantuko.
Does give him 2 triggers with Nadu.
That's going to happen regardless.
Not if you just go face twice.
It's going face do anything?
Puts you to 5, and then we attack, forces a jump block, and then you only have 2 Harsh Mentor triggers until death. Or third is death. So you have 1 free, and then 1 that has to be the Burnt and Forged Cinder. And if it's fetch land, well, then you're at 2.
Okay. I see it, and Ben agrees.
I just think giving free Nadu triggers is just a mistake, but we do go for a mana source here off of the treasure, and we're kind of throwing that away, but I think that's fine. We can block with the 2/3 that's bestowed. And then chump, taking 0. We do have Wear Terror, so now we can hit the enchantment that's bestowed. And I don't think that triggers Nadu. I think Nadu only triggers on creatures.
Correct.
Yep. Zap it. And Delight Halfling will die in combat, along with Nantuko. Here we go. Jesse's at 5, but he's not dead. Quarter Burnt and Forged Tinder, and we got a shot. Let's go. Here we go. We got 2 Delighted Halfling clones.
Yeah, plenty of material still left around for Jesse.
Is that a Sun Cleanser? Why is that in the deck? Hacks it in. Can't beat the Harsh Mentor. Nicely done from Ben Smith. Put him in the squeeze with the damage from the Flage, and Kegel could not do anything about it. We got a deciding game, Ross.
Yeah, Harsh Mentor is a problem. These Nadu decks don't play removal.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, is weird to me, because all your opponents have Harsh Mentor.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be able to answer a Grizzly Bear.
Well, see, here's the thing. People from the Pro Tour weren't testing against Harsh Mentor. And so when they get to the Pro Tour, they have to play against Harsh Mentor. They beat it anyway. You know, top 4 out of 4. Who cares? People at home, they say, oh, I'm just going to copy the list that top 4 or won the Pro Tour. And those lists still have a little bit of trouble against Harsh Mentor, but they don't have any answers built into Harsh Mentor. So you have to adapt.
They've had time. They should be adapted.
Yeah, but who's really testing Nadu when it's...
Apparently Jesse Kegel is.
Look, goldfishing and testing, not the same thing. But I agree. Should have some more answers to Harsh Mentor. It's an extremely common sideboard card since the Pro Tour. It's one we've seen multiple times today. I'm sure it's been on Jesse's mind.
I have to imagine it's been important for Ben Smith throughout this tournament.
Are you going to look and see how many times he's playing against Nadu?
Yeah.
Nice.
Round 1, played an Energy Mirror. But it's going to be 0.
Jesse here going to be changing some sideboarding. Might not have even brought in the Burnt and Forged Tinder, but I don't know.
Well, now that he's seen Harsh Mentor, it's definitely in the deck.
I agree. Curious if he brings in the other endurance as well, just to try to keep Flage from being an issue.
Ben Smith beat Bant Nadu in round 4.
Yeah. Beat it last round, too.
Yeah, so he's played it 3 times. 3-0, or 2-0, with 1 game to come. And really, I mean, I know the spot removal is good, but I don't know if the pressure behind it is good enough without a haymaker like Harsh Mentor. Maybe if you get a Johnny transformed, and that just machine guns a creature a turn, and then starts going upstairs. So that's also quite powerful. So that's something I would look towards. But otherwise, it's really just Harsh Mentor plus Flage.
That'll do. Well, it did last game. Let's see if he does it again. Kegel going to be on the play. Mulled to 6 last game. Let's see if he keeps 7 this time. I see a couple lands. Looks like we're going to keep Ben Smith taking a mulligan down to 6. Every resource matters.
It's very true in this matchup.
Especially when you got to start blasting early creatures with your removal spells. Being on the draw kind of stinks too, because you can't develop on one if you have removal. You just have to kill halfling.
Yeah, and we saw Ben was on the play in game. I guess he was on the play there in game 2, but managed to survive without a 1-drop. But that was the power of Harsh Mentor. So it's really just, can you get ahead or can you have a haymaker?
That's the modern I'm used to. Oh, you're playing Dredge, full powered, 4 Leyline of the Void. Let's hope I draw one in my opener. All right, 1 card going back.
It's the last game here on Saturday. Reminder to our viewers that Todd and I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on the same channel to run another, or cover another, of these $5,000 invitational qualifier and regional championship qualifiers.
All right, we're underway. Kegel going to be on the play. Starts with Fetch Forest. That probably means Delighted Halfling. Maybe it's Shuko.
Well, could also be Sylvan Safekeeper. No, it's Delighted Halfling.
See if Ben has an answer for it.
I see a Guide of Souls. Have we seen Ben draw? We haven't seen him draw a Discharge or a Bolt yet.
Well, Kegel's expecting it here. Ben's moving pretty fast, but might just be Guide of Souls. We'll see if he has the answer to the Delighted Halfling to slow Kegel down.
There it is, Discharge.
Boom.
Leave an energy behind so a second Discharge can take out a Nadu.
All right, 1 energy left remaining. Here we go.
Jesse dropping his pen. I see an Urza Saga in his hand. Okay. Saga here will go off on turn 4, and a Wall of Roots. Great turn 2.
I agree. Especially if your mana creature gets bamboozled. Alright, Ether Hub can be the land for Smith, and if he has another Galvanic, he can go ahead and blow up the Wall of Roots for just 1 mana as well. See if he wants to try to apply some pressure this turn. Oh, it's not a Harsh Mentor, but it is a Raptor. Raptor can hit the Mentor. We haven't had Amp Raptor on screen too much. Oh! Right off the rip.
The called shot from Mr. Todd Anderson. And that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Amped Raptor, basically miniature Bloodbraid Elf. Gets 2 energy when it comes in. You flip cards off the top till you find a non-creature spell. Or sorry, that's not it. Just
non-land card.
Non-land card. And then you can play it for energy. And we found Harsh Mentor and played it for 2 energy. Imagine that. If your deck is all 2-drops, you basically just get a free spell off the top. Play a few energy generators so that we can sometimes get a free 3 off the top with Fable, Blood Moon, and Flage.
Oh,
Well,
that's
we
not
don't
going to
have
work,
blue
Jesse.
mana.
I think there's an Endurance there. And would rather just make a construct. That will trigger the Harsh Mentor, though.
If Ben just sends with both creatures into the 1/1 construct, Jesse just can swallow up the Harsh Mentor if he's lucky.
Ambush with the Endurance. Should be on Ben Smith's radar, though. There's not a lot that these decks do at instant speed, so easy to keep track of the few things they do. Court of Calling and Endurance.
Sacred Foundry for Ben. Gonna tap 3 here. Blood Moon. That's threatening to kill the Urza Saga. We can make a 1-1 in response. Could just let the Saga die. This kind of disguises the Endurance a little bit as well, thanks to the Wall of Roots mana.
A little awkward for Ben, though. Doesn't have a basic plains. So Ben is now
red only.
White manaless. His list is more red heavy.
Yeah, but he also plays 3 planes. We talked a little bit about that. We were like, why 3 planes? Oh, it's only 2
No,
in this one.
he's 2 planes.
My mistake. All right, well, do you attack? Mr. Ben Smith, what you got? No attacks. We're going to play Endurance. Maybe we start getting frisky? Start attacking? They're playing 2-card Monty to put him on bottom at random. Dross return. Kegel, no blue mana. Draws a dead Urza Saga. Blood Moon doing some work here. Breeding Pool comes in untapped, no damage, but only taps for red because
it's a mountain.
It's a mountain.
Now, are we just racing with this Endurance?
I love it.
The second Blood Moon off the top for Ben Smith. That's not going to help.
Kegel with a pretty severe misplay on turn 3, playing Yavimaya over Breeding Pool. Tried to play Nadu, had to rewind because he didn't have blue mana. Yavimaya was stuck in play, and now Nadu's stuck in hand.
Yeah. Ben buys the Gigantha from the Companion Zone, 1 more land, and he can play that, and then he has the biggest creature on the battlefield.
I don't think that there's islands in Kegel's deck.
There is not.
Without Delighted Halfling, I don't know that we have a good answer here. Here's a Shuko. We can equip that. We take 2.
Kegel needs to find Haywire Mite.
Yeah, we can also draw Court of Calling because Wall of Roots can float a green and then be used for Convoking. Attack for 4. Ben Smith says, I'll take it. Life total getting precariously low. Was a little cavalier with Sacred Foundries and now down to 8.
Does he have land 5?
He doesn't have land 5 for Gigantha. He's going to need something. Oh, I saw another Blood Moon over there. That's gross.
That was the previous turn's draw step.
Oof.
Wall of Roots' mana ability does not trigger Harsh Mentor, Ben.
Look like a mana ability to me. It says, do thing, make mana. I'm no doctor scientist.
There's land 5, and Gigantha is not only the biggest creature on this battlefield, it is also a source of white mana.
That's very true. Good catch. See if Ben sniffs out whether or not there's another Endurance. Kegel could be playing this little KG and sandbagging it, but looks like we're just going to go back his way. No need to tempt the gods. Kegel locked under Blood Moon and Harsh Mentor right now. This has got to be painful. I think he drew Beseiju. Oh, no. No, it's an N2 excuse me.
Yeah, Beseiju would do it as well.
Well, we are going to bestow it upon an Endurance, so we can make another Endurance every time we play a land. It's pretty tight.
That will quickly take over the battlefield, though Gigantha will then just sit back on defense.
All right, we're going to play a Saga. It's going to die to the Blood Moon, but we are going to be able to trigger the Endurance and then use the Wall of Roots to make another Endurance. And if we want, we can shuffle the graveyard back in, but otherwise we'll just be content making a 3-4.
No, Springheart and Nantuko is also a triggered ability, not an activated ability, so it also does not trigger Harsh Mentor.
A lot of people are asking questions about my shirt that says, this doesn't trigger Harsh Mentor. That can be easily answered by the shirt.
Jesse decides to shuffle his cards into his library.
What? Oh, it's a 5 now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The bestows +1/+1. Raptor jumps in the way. White cards and blood moons.
Johnny would be fine here. I think there's a Guide of Souls in hand that's been there for a while, and that is not fine. That just doesn't do anything. The Blood Moon we know doesn't do anything.
Kegel here just very content to soak 5 if the attack comes across, I'm sure. So because of that, we're just going to use this for white mana.
Yeah, that is a Guide of Souls that Ben Smith is holding.
I think you're right about the other card maybe being a Johnny, though. 2 cost white card. Hard to tell.
That would be a much better play than the Guide here. You could chump block the Endurance with the token and transform a Johnny.
Second, Harsh Mentor. And we're going to gain a life and get an energy. And then maybe we can start attacking through the air with one of these Harsh Mentors. While the Endurance does have reach, it will only be a 3-4 versus a 4-4 Harsh Mentor.
At this point, Ben Smith needs to find more of his red removal spells. Although, yeah, Guide of Souls jump in this Harsh Mentor is good.
I think Jesse's probably just going to take 4 here. I don't think we're in chump block territory quite yet, especially because we can just make a second Endurance if we draw land, and then double Endurance can block very well.
Kegel falls to 13.
Redundant Blood Moon gives protection from Boseiju. Alright, bag Jesse's way. Didn't get a good look at it.
A weird game to finish our tournament on, Todd.
That's Blood Moon, man. That's Blood Moon. Blood Moon does some weird stuff sometimes. You gotta win with a ham sandwich.
This is more like a Monte Cristo because it's been lit on fire.
Gigantha.
I think that might have been in a Johnny drawn for turn.
Okay, here's a Johnny, and we're gonna gain 2 life.
To get 2 energy?
Yep. We do have just an enormous Endurance now that can protect from the Guide of Souls attacks, but we're kind of getting to a point where we're at a standstill. And I think that the top of the deck is better for Ben because of the Harsh Mentors.
Yeah, and Ben can try to also attack with the cat token.
Yeah.
If that dies, then the Ajani transformed will be a very fast clock. But attacking is just a 2-1 isn't good because Kegel can check it with the 0-3 Wall of Roots.
Right.
So he needs to get another energy here so we can attack and put a couple of counters on it, force Kegel to block with one of the Endurances.
Here's Court of Calling. What are we going to cordon for? What are we going to calling for?
So with 2 Harsh Mentors on the battlefield, a single Burnt and Forged Tender isn't good enough to enable a combo. If Jesse had multiple chords, he could find Forged Tender and Storm Drake. Then he also would need to find the Nadu. So I don't see how Kegel is able to combo his way out of this game. And it's also difficult for him to play fair because there's just so little interaction in the deck. He needs to find some way of going over the top of what Ben Smith is doing without comboing.
All right, Vault of Stormdrake does enter the fray, and we are going to use it to trade places with likely the 4-4 Harsh Mentor. It is a flying Harsh Mentor that keeps the flying counter. I would like to swap.
Yeah, that'll leave 2 energy behind for Jesse Kegel. Comes prepared with the energy counter.
That's exactly the word I would use to describe Jesse for this event.
Yeah.
Prepared. There's a Vault of Stormdrake. Doesn't look that great against these Endurances and the 4-4 Flying Harsh Mentor. Now we can just attack for 4 in the air with the Harshman Tor, maybe.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, let's see if Jesse can turn this thing around. We have a land. That means we have another endurance. We're just going to pay the 2. Going to make another clone. And no real graveyards to hit. I think it's a May ability anyway.
Ben Smith had 1 card there, so put that on the bottom, sir.
Bye. No graveyard for you. Doesn't want Flage coming back later. Whoa. I don't know what he's got to check the Ajani, but this is pretty terrifying. Attacking into this cat that's going to flip the Ajani.
I agree. If it wasn't for the Ajani, I would really like this attack, but...
Yeah, I agree. Alright, we're going to take 4, down to 7. Eagles' last card. I wonder what it is. Ajani flipping. This might have just been an oversight from Kegel. This seems like a punt. An old-fashioned punt.
So Kegel has 2 endurance copies and the O3 wall back as blockers.
You know what Harshman Tor doesn't affect?
Planeswalkers.
Planeswalkers. So we can make a 2-1. That'll gain us a life up to 8. Deal 5 to a target. We can just kill the big flying Harsh Mentor. Seems okay.
Could also kill one of the endurance copies and then attack with Gigantha, put 2 counters, +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on it. A 7/7 flyer.
Turned out to be one heck of a match.
Yeah, Jesse thinks that Harsh Mentor counts Planeswalkers. It does not.
5 damage. Endurance is just a bit too big, I believe. Or is it?
Does go for the Harsh Mentor.
Okay. Harsh Mentor down.
I guess still can attack with a 7/7 Gigantha. 2 endurances blocking that will not kill it.
Has a lightning bolt in hand too. Sheesh.
Think we might see the Blood Moons. I was going to board out. Shows what I know.
Well, it was a great answer to Saga. Both the games it was cast. And it's made Kegel really struggle this game, though. I think it's pretty clear that Harsh Mentor in games 2 and 3 has been the issue. And at just 8 life, Ben says, I'm scared. I'm going to pass the turn.
Interesting.
Maybe he just says, I got it rolled up with this Ajani in 2 turns. All right, Saga down. We're just going to make another endurance. Your Harsh Mentor goes back in, question mark? Seems fine. Just goes to the bottom. Fetches are turned off. Just keep Flage from ever doing anything.
How many endurances does Jesse Cagle need to end this game? Probably too many because of the Ajani. And it was the attack that Jesse made with that bestowed endurance in the face of Ajani that is what I would look back to from his side of the table. I understand wanting to be aggressive, but the Ajani Planeswalker is just too powerful in this position.
Ben, thinking about taking 3 damage here. Could maybe double block with the Storm Drake and the Guide of Souls on the Endurance. Gonna take 3 down to 5. Loses an Endurance only. I thought that was a fairly weird attack, but after seeing the aftermath, I think it was a good attack.
Yeah, trading endurance for 3 damage.
Jesse says go. Where tears the draw?
So that can destroy the Springheart Nantuko.
5 to you.
Upstairs.
I like a little wear tear. I like a little tap Giganta, blow up Shuko and then Tuko.
Yeah. Ben realizing that he has this game as long as he just survives the Ajani will close it out. So playing max defense and can now use the Gigantha on Kagel's turn to cast Wear Tear.
Yeah, has Bolt in hand too, so next turn it's just lights out if Kegel doesn't find a way to win. Seiju. That's going to do it. Ben Smith here. Looks like he's going to take this one down. That last card in Jesse's hand needs to be a miracle.
And that Beseiju would have been good, but Ben found 2 copies of Blood Moon.
Right. All right, if you're Jesse, I guess you just ship in. Do it again. Hope for the best. These two maybe at Johnny, this one at you. This one's a lethal attack face. Force 3 blocks. So easy chump here. Giganta easy block. Then we got not really hard block, I guess. Not 100% that the endurances are going at the Ajani. Ben goes to 2, then we'll know.
Ben can afford to play around with his life total a little bit. There's no real reach from the Nadu deck. Jesse doesn't even have the Harsh Mentor he traded for from earlier in the game. You can't accidentally kill yourself with your own Harsh Mentor. Yeah, let's make appropriate blocks. A few things trade.
I don't think we're lethaling next turn now, though. The Bolt is going to be 1 short, unless we draw a creature.
So what if you shoot down the untapped Endurance, attack with everything, and put 2 counters on Gigantha?
That probably does it.
Harsh Mentor gets blocked, Guide of Souls plus 7, so Gigantha come across for 8.
Mm-hmm.
And once the Endurance dies, the untapped Endurance, you know Jesse can't cast Court of Calling.
That's true.
And can't cast Endurance, which are his only instant speed spells.
Goes face for 4 instead. There's only 2 blockers from Kegel, so we could just send with all 3 creatures, deal 1, and then Bolt upstairs for the rest of it. Just says go. Not really under any pressure, just the same as last turn. As Wear Tear has Bolt.
And it looks like a Johnny is going to carry this game and a match and tournament.
Ben Smith can win next turn. Another Endurance.
Do we just surveil off the hedge maze when there's Blood Moons in play?
No, we put a card from our graveyard on the bottom of the deck.
That was for the Endurance, okay. Yeah, and the hedge maze just got tapped for colorless.
Yeah.
For the Nintuko.
Kegel's had 1 card in hand for a long time. Here, Ben, what do you think it is? It's a weird chord to see if anyone messes up.
Ben makes the same blocks he's been making. Jesse at 4 life is going to be dead to the next Ajani activation.
Yep, doesn't even need to use the Bolt. All right, packs it in. Ben Smith is your champion here. Boros Energy undefeated on the day. 5-0 in Swiss and 3-0 in top 8. Adds a dub to his resume.
Yeah, impressive stuff in a tournament where, you know, I think at this point everybody expects a modern tournament to be won by Nadu.
Yeah.
Ben takes down Nadu in both the semifinals and the finals.
Well, if it weren't Nadu, it's gonna be Flage. Let's be honest. Or Necrodominance, or Ruby Storm. You know, it's MH3. It's always been MH3. It'll always be MH3. I'll be right
It's
back.
only
I'm gonna
been
go get our
MH3
champ.
for like 2 weeks.
It'll be that way forever then.
You mean until MH4?
Or Lord of the Rings 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Okay, Todd is going to go get our champion. I'll do a brief interview with him, get him his winner's playmat, and then we will wrap up this show and head out because I can hear that Wings Etc. calling my name. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around through today's tournament, and a reminder that Todd and I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, here at the twitch.tv/Apex Gaming channel at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to start for another $5,000 Apex Invitational Qualifier with the same format. We're running back Modern. We'll see if maybe Ben can go back to back, or somebody else can dethrone Nadu, or maybe Nadu takes its revenge. It'll be Empire Strikes Back. But Todd and I will bring you every single round of that tomorrow, again starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, Todd, come on. We got places to be. We got wings and tots to eat. And the Jazz tip off in 50 minutes. I got the late game in Summer League. I'm sure everyone at home was dying to know that. Here he is. The one man that can defeat Nadu.
Yeah, right.
Well, Ben, why don't you put on that? First things first, congratulations.
Thank you.
This playmat you see in front of you is now yours.
Let's go.
As an Apex Invitational champion. Reminder to everybody at home that every single Apex Invitational qualifier winner will receive one of those, not just the AIQs that are held here at the store. You can go to apexgaming.gg to find one closer to you. So, Ben, I will say I have one real question for you.
Sure.
Now, I have been a critic of this Boros deck.
Of course.
And I will say I have done it without having played a game with the deck or seen it in action.
Sure.
So why don't you sell me as a Boros skeptic? What is it about this deck that makes it so powerful?
I respect my time.
So
That's it.
you just want to win quickly?
Yes.
Well, honestly, as you're respecting our time too as well,
Yes.
so I can appreciate that. Follow up for anybody that's picking this deck up.
Yeah.
How do you approach the Nadu matchup? We know Harsh Mentor is a haymaker,
Yeah.
but in general, are you trying to be really aggressive? Are you trying to be more defensive and kill their creatures? What's your approach to the bird menace?
I guess you just like try and land Blood Moon as fast as possible. Like that's the only way you're winning. Because if you don't, they're just gonna beat you. It's not close. Like
Okay, Blood Moon is the key card. That's a card that I actually thought was going to come out, so shows what I know.
really?
Yeah. I don't. They have a bunch of mana creatures. They got basics, but stopping Urza
Yeah.
Saga
That's-
clearly very important.
Yeah, and they get a lot of hands where they're just like surveilling a bunch and just like spinning their wheels trying to set it up. And if you just land Blood Moon on turn 2, it's great.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Ben. Again,
man, appreciate
and
you.
look forward to seeing you in November for the Apex Invitational.
Right on. Thank you.
Okay. You can grab your playmat. We'll get Todd back in here, and let's wrap up this show.
Thanks, guys.
Safe travels. See you tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, Todd.
Bring us home.
It's been a long day,
It's been a long day.
but Nadu didn't win.
Nadu didn't win. We get to go get wings, and all is right in the world. Thank God that we're in Caldwell, Ohio. We got tomorrow. We got a whole nother modern event coming at you. $5,000 in cash and prizes on the line. 2 qualifications for the regional championship. 2 qualifications for the Apex Invitational. And $5,000 cash and prizes. We're going to be starting at 11 a.m.-ish tomorrow. Let's say 11:15. And we're going to do it all again. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. For Ross Merriam, I'm Tandy. And say bye, Ross.
Bye, Ross.